whenever you're given plans, this is the floor plan, this is the foundation plan, then you are given sections, like section for the external walls and section for the internal walls, and you're asked to take off. You will begin by the first section, which is called collections. In collections, that's where we find the center lines that you are going to use when you are taking off. So this is just a preparation part. So we will just do our preparation here. Then after we find the center lines, we will come and transfer them to the takeoff sheets. So because they are cavity walls that we are dealing with, as you can see in the floor plan, the external walls are cavity walls on the outside. Then if you see the foundation plan, there are cavity walls all around. Then we have the these broken lines. These broken lines, we can see them. Then we have the solid lines around them. Now, the first thing that we need to do is to understand the foundation plan, because this one is the one that will help us to take off the substructure works. So in the foundation plan, as you can see, this is our cavity wall that is on the superstructure. After seeing that cavity wall, there is the internal walls here. This solid line, which is inside here, is the internal wall. Kindly let's look at the section here so that we can be able to understand where all those lines are coming from. In the section for the external walls, we can see on the top of the ground we have a cavity wall. The cavity wall has an internal wall of 220 millimeters thick. Then we have a cavity of 50 millimeters thick. Then we have an external wall of 110 millimeters thick. Now this one is above the ground. Above the ground, we're going to see this wall. Below the ground, what is there? We have another wall. This wall is also a cavity wall. The cavity wall below the ground, we have this one, which is 220 millimeters thick. We have a cavity which is 50 millimeters thick, just like the one which is above the ground, and we have 220 millimeters thick. So the wall below the ground is 490 millimeters thick, but the one above the ground is 220 plus 50 plus 110. So that one will give us 380. So for the external wall, we have 380 millimeters thick on top of the ground, and 490 below the ground. Then below the wall, we have the concrete. For the concrete, we are told the thickness of the concrete is 250 millimeters, and the thickness of the concrete is 800. All right, so this concrete is 800 by 250 millimeters thick and reinforced concrete. Because you see, these writings that are on the drawing are the ones that we are using to take off in the dimension sheets. So in the plan, what we expect to see is that this cavity wall above the ground will have solid lines. We shall have a solid line for the four outlines. The outline for this wall, the outline for the cavities, and the outline for this wall. Then in the foundation, we shall have this broken line. The broken line will be for the wall here, because it's below the ground. Then we have the concrete. The outline will be shown by a bold line, so that you can differentiate it from the wall. All right, so coming back to the drawing, these walls here, these four walls, these four lines, this shows the internal wall in the cavity wall. The space shows the cavity in the external wall. Then this one shows the external wall, which is 110. This one is 110. This cavity is 50, and this internal wall is 220. Then we have this broken line going all around. This one is the outline for the wall below the ground, the foundation wall below the ground, the broken line. Then the solid line shows the outline of the concrete. So you can see the outline of the concrete is here. Then the trench we have said is 800 millimeters thick, so it's from here to here. Then this line that you can see here, this line, of course, it's there for the cavity wall. Why it is like this, why we don't have another broken line on the inside, let's come back to this section, is because you can see the external, the wall above the ground and the wall below the ground, they are at a flush. It's flashing. It is not extending inward, it's only extending outside. So here it will only be represented by one line. All right, so let's go to the internal wall. The internal wall, the wall above the ground is 110 millimeters. The one below the ground is 220. If you can notice, you can see that this wall is extending to the outside and it to the inside. So 220 minus 110 is 110. Divided by 2 is, this wall is extending to the outside, it's spreading 55 and spreading inward 55. All right, so let's go to the concrete here. The measurement of the concrete is 650 by 250. So it's 650 by 250 millimeters concrete and reinforced concrete. All right, so this one shall be represented, this wall shall be represented by a solid line, then this wall below the ground by a broken line, then this concrete shall be represented by a very bold solid line. Let's go back to the drawing so that we can be able to see. This is the internal wall. The wall is shown by the 110 millimeters wall by the two solid lines inside. The broken lines show the wall below the soil. Then these very bold lines show the concrete. All right, so once we understand the drawings, we can be able now to start staking off. And before we go to staking off, let's look at the floor plan. The floor plan, we are shown the rooms. You can see here we have the master bedroom, we have the bathroom, we have here we have the, it's like a closet here. Then we have the living room here, we have a wall, we have a kitchen. All right, we have a bedroom here, it's shown sleep. Then here it's a bath, then here it's another bedroom. All right, as you can see, the cavity walls are on the outside. Then the walls on the on the superstructure above the ground, you can see they are just solid brick walls. We don't have two outlines because it was only at 110 millimeters thick walls. All right, so this drawing that we are taking off right now, you can see it's from the University of Pretoria. They had been given this assignment so that they can be able to do. So I decided, because of the demand from the students, I should help you go through it. So now we shall start with the first point of taking off, which is the collections. We want to know how do we calculate the center lines for the external walls and for the internal walls. Right. When you are calculating the center lines, remember the wall above the ground is different from the one below the ground, and the thickness is different from the concrete below the ground. So their center lines should be calculated separately. All right, so we shall begin with the one above the ground. We shall begin with the external walls. The external walls, remember, they are different from the internal walls. So we should begin with the external walls, the 380 millimeters cavity walls. Okay, now for the 380 millimeters cavity wall here, we want to find the center line of this wall all around this house. You can see it's going all around. So how do we find that center line? First of all, we are given the dimensions here. From here to here at the end is 13,955. From here at the end to here at the end is 10,414. Then you are given these dimensions. The thickness of the wall is 380. Therefore, the inside walls is 110. So how do we calculate the center line for the cavity wall going all around? Remember, when I did a video that showed how we calculate center lines for cavity walls. If you haven't checked it out, kindly check it in our in our videos, you'll be able to see it. But briefly, what we do, we usually take the length, the perimeter of this house. Then after we take the perimeter, we shall deduct the number of corners times the thickness of the wall, which is 180. If we have many corners and we have internal corners like this one and external corners, how do we calculate the number of corners? We shall take the number of external corners, we deduct the number of internal corners like these ones. Okay, let's first see how many external corners do we have. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Right? How many internal corners do we have? We have 1, 2, and 3. So 7 minus 3, they are 4. So we shall first find the perimeter of the plan. Then we shall deduct number of corners times the thickness of the wall. Let's now find the perimeter. Perimeter is always equals to 2 into bracket length plus width. Alright, what is the length? If you look at this diagram very keenly, the length is from here up to here, then it continues here, giving us 13,955. Okay, below here, what is the length? It is the same, this one plus this one plus this one is also equal to 13,955. So this one the length is 13,955. The width, it's from here to here. So we have this one plus this one. It gives us the total 10,414. The other width is this one plus this one plus this one. It gives us 10,414. Alright? So if we say we take 10,414 times 2, that shows that the width is complete this side, and this side it's also complete. So we shall come to finding the perimeter. Perimeter is 2 into bracket length plus width. The length is 13,955. 13,955 times 2, we shall get 27,910. Alright? Then for the width, it's 2 times 10,414. Because remember, we are taking the external perimeter, so that we can deduct the number of corners times the thickness of the wall. This one, we shall get 10,828. So once we deduct, we shall get 48,738. Alright? So we shall take this one, then we shall deduct number of corners times the thickness of the wall. Alright? So it shall give us 1520. So the center line of the 380 millimeters cavity walls shall be 47,218, and this one is it, 2047.22. You just feed it in here in the dimension column. In the dimension column, then in the squaring column, the center line for the 380 millimeters cavity walls is that one. Right. Then we go to this wall below the ground, is 490 millimeters cavity wall in foundation. How do we find the center line for that one? We shall take the external perimeter again, then we add this extension. Here it was to 10 to 20, but we can see this wall is thicker than this other wall above the ground, because this wall here on the outside is 220 and this one above it is 110. So the difference is that the foundation wall extends to the outside by 220 minus 110, which is 110. Or you can just look here. The foundation wall extends to the outside by 110. Alright, so we want to find the total length and the total width of the foundation for the foundation wall. If we can use this plan, it can show us better. Remember, the foundation wall is shown by the broken line. Alright, so we want to find that perimeter of that foundation wall using that broken line. So what is the total length? The total length for the cavity wall was from here to here. Now we need to go an extra mile and an extra mile here to the broken line. So if this one from here to here was 13,955, then you are told this x spread is 110 and this spread is 110. So it's 110 times 2. We add to the length. Okay, let's look at the width. The width, we are told that the dimensions from here to here is 10, 4, 1, 4. You can see it's from here to here. It's 10, 4, and 4. Now we want the dimensions for the foundation wall. Like here. We shall add this one. We add from the broken line to the broken line. So we shall add 110 here and 110 on there. So for the width, we shall take 2 times 110. So we shall come here to the calculation. The length, the width, we write like that. The length was 13, 955. The width was 10, 4, and 4. So when we add, the spread shall be 2 times 110, which is 220. For the width, 2 times 110, 220. So the total length shall be, for the foundation wall from one end to another, shall be 14, 175. And for the width shall be 10, 634. Alright. So what is the perimeter? Because when we are calculating the center line, we need to find the external perimeter. Then we deduct number of corners times the thickness of that wall. Alright, perimeter is always equals to 2 into bracket length plus width. 2 into bracket 14, this one width, this one. So this one plus times 2 times the total, you get 49, 618. Now we shall deduct number of corners, which is 7 minus 3. Why did we say 7? Remember, come back to the plan. External corners 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We deduct number of internal corners 1, 2, 3. 7 minus 3, 4. Alright, that's why we have 4. 4 times 490. 490 millimeters thick, that is the foundation wall. This one minus this one, you shall get 47, 658. So the center line for the 490 millimeters cavity wall in foundation shall be 47.66. Alright, now we shall go to the strip footing. I believe it's getting easier and easier. So for the strip footing, we said for the strip footing it shall be shown by these lines. In the foundation here, it is shown by these bold lines. These bold lines here. And you can see in the inside it's shown by these bold lines. The concrete is occupying all these trenches everywhere here. These bold lines are the ones which are showing the outline of the concrete. Alright. So how do we find the center line for the strip footing? The center line for the strip footing, and you had been given these dimensions from the length here to here. Now we want from here to here. Alright. So we have up to here. So we shall add up to here, then we add the other part. Okay, let's go to the section. To the section we had been given up to here, so we need to add this one. This is 110. Then we add this one, which is 130. So it shall be 130 plus 110. 130 plus 110 gives us 240. Alright, so we shall take, and it's of course it's 240 here and 240 here. 240 here and 240 here on the width, right? Because we are taking the width is from here to here, the outermost part. The length is from here to here. Then after we take the external dimensions, we shall deduct number of corners times the thickness of the trench, so that we can get the center line of that trench. Alright, so how do we calculate the center line? The external dimensions is 13, 955, the width 10, 4, and 4. So we shall take this one plus 2 times 240, we get 480. 480. So this one plus this one, we shall get 14, 435. Then we shall take this one plus 480, we get this one. Alright, so what is the perimeter? Perimeter is equals to 2 into bracket length plus width. Length plus width is 25, 329. Multiplied by 2 is 50, 658. We deduct number of corners times the thickness of the trench. The thickness of the trench is 800. All right, so it shall be this one, total perimeter, external perimeter, deduct number of corners times the thickness of the trench. So 5658 deduct 3200, it shall be 47458. All right, now that we are able to do the 3 center lines, it will be much easier to do the center lines for the internal walls. Now faster. For the internal walls, how do we calculate the center line? Starting from the wall above the ground, 110 millimeters brick wall. 110 millimeters brick wall in the section, it is this one. 110 millimeters brick wall, the wall above the ground. And in the foundation, you can see their internal walls. Now here it's where you have to be very careful. You have to look very keenly. The foundation walls for the internal walls are these ones. You can see here you have to look at how they intersect, from where it has to be very practical. All right, those are the internal walls. We want to find the center line of this 110. This made of solid lines. Internal walls. How do we find the total center line of that one? We shall begin with the first wall. Now we shall use this plan and this plan. All right, now we shall begin with the first wall here. You see the first wall here, this wall starts from here and it ends here. And in the foundation, you can see there is no these doors. Foundations, there are no doors, no deductions, no what, they are complete lines. All right, so this one is 4180. We shall take that 4180 because this one is the measurement from here to here. All right, so the wall above the ground, it shall intersect with the wall above the ground for the external wall. So we shall take the dimensions for 4180. The next wall, it is this wall here. How do we find the dimension for this wall? You can see it is intersecting with these external walls. So we are given from outside here to here, which is 2680. And the thickness of this cavity wall of the outside is 380. So we shall take 2680, we deduct this cavity wall, and it shall give us 2310. All right, 2310. So this is the one we shall add here. Now we have the length of this one and this one. Now we shall go to this one. Remember, it's the wall above the ground. All right, so how do we calculate this length from here up to here? We shall take 2130 from here up to here. Then we shall take, we add to here, then we add up to here. So we shall begin with 4814. This one, 4814. It is the length from here to here. So it shall be 4118 plus 110 because of this one, 110. Then we shall add 2690 from here to outside here, then we deduct 380. Or you can take 2310 plus 110 plus 4814, and that one shall give you 7234, and this is 7234. All right, so we shall go to the next wall, which is the next wall is this wall. It's the next internal wall. We have been given it's 3460, and we shall add 3460. The next internal wall shall be these walls, these internal walls here at the bad. So we are given their measuring 3850. So we shall take two walls, 2 walls measuring 3850. Then we add them here. Okay, then the other wall is from here up to here. All right, how long? 4180 less 55. And that's 55. We have said it's the spread of the wall on the outside. So it shall be 4180 less 55. It is 4125. Then we go to the next wall. The next wall is this wall. this wall from here to here is 2310, and we want, you see the broken line is ending earlier and here it is starting at the wall, so we shall only deduct 55 here, so it shall be 2690, then we deduct 55 here. All right, then we shall go to the next wall. Okay, it will not be 2690, it shall be the dimensions from here to here, which was 2310. So 2690 was from outside here, but remember we deducted the cavity wall, so 2310 from here to here, then we deduct 55 because the broken line is inside the bold line by 55. All right, the next wall we shall look at is this wall. This wall, the dimensions was 7234. 7234, you can see the broken line is ending together with the broken line touching the external wall, and here also it's ending at the same point, so it shall be the same 7234. We shall not deduct anything because it's equal. The bold line and the broken line, it's starting at the same time and ending at the same time. The next wall is the other wall for 3640, this wall. So you can see it starts with the bold line touching the external wall, but here it ends earlier by 55. So we shall take 3640, we deduct 55. We go to these walls here at the back. The dimensions is 3850. So 3850, it touches the external cavity wall, but here it ends area by 55. So it shall be 3850, deduct 55 times 2 walls. Right. For this wall here, the dimensions we had seen is 8994. All right, you can see it's touching the external cavity wall and touching the external cavity wall, so there is no deduction. All right. So the total length for the brick wall in the foundation shall be, you take the first wall, the second wall, third wall, fourth wall, fifth wall, together with the sixth and plus the seventh wall, and you get the total length. So this one is the center line for the